But yeah, most of the sort of preambles are, greetings and everyone is finding their spot and things like that. And soon all eyes goes to the first inauguration ceremony by the High Priestess, the Matron, and the rest of the House Vytharia, all present at the, well, possibly the stairs at the sort of the grand gates of the cathedral where all of you sort of have gathered. So yeah, I would like all the players' help in describing this first opening ceremony and the unhallowing of the cathedral.
Well, certainly the cathedral itself is going to be the center stage. I mean, that is what is really important, and looking upon that is, of course, what is fixed. For this, the large doors will have been, swung open so you can look from outside inside, and just inside is where the thing is going to go on by the altar. There's sort of the prestigious places where the people, the alchemist gets a front row seat, even the people behind him can't really see anything. and such.
The alchemist, looking at the door and looking at the benches, he will grunt something, and you see him, fumbling in one of his satchels, and he will drink a potion.
Reduce plant.
Very considerate of him.
Then we've got the white spider.
Well, people can look between her legs if need be.
Indeed.
Yeah, and there, most likely, Tristan will be waiting inside, while Alauneari will be outside. There's will be the beautiful ribbon, looking like sinew, most likely.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really sure whose or where that came from, but it certainly looks that way, as it'll be cut with the heated dagger, ensuring that it is sort of tightly spent out so it snaps when the hot metal touches it, ensuring no fumbling, a chance of it not actually being cut.
Of course.
Yeah. First thing Alauneari will do is, of course, welcome everyone to this grand opening of the first and only cathedral for Agares in her might and the might of House Vytharia. And she will declare it open and cut the sinew. And then she will tread inside with everything she has. She will most likely be bringing something, such as perhaps her own holy symbol, or unholy symbol, for it to be blessed at the altar by Tristan. Perhaps the others of her family will do something similar. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
Rain most certainly, with an encrypted shield on his bag, and very light on weaponry. He will take his holy symbol off from around his neck and join Alauneari on this pilgrimage inside. Following behind her, making sure Alauneari is still the center of the view. Go again.
Only visible probably that Rain bows before the altar, but Alauneari does not bow. She simply bows her head slightly.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah, the interior of it is as imposing as it was built. Silks and tapestries and similar things from the Skizral hang here. There is certainly moody lighting in here. As long shadows are cast, and indeed everything is sort of this awe-inspiring dark majesty in here. Yes.
Perhaps after the blessings have been done, Rilinid could bring in the architects and give them the honor of walking through the halls for the first time.
Oh.
What type of blessing does Tristan do? What does she say? What words does she intone upon the blessings?
I have really no idea. Can I have some help on this?
Well, it must be an abyssal, yeah.
Well, she can speak Abyssal now, so that's good.
Alauneari was the one who helped her. What did Alauneari coach her up to say, Manaki?
Yeah.
Well, of course, to excel upon the virtues of Agaris. For example, to bless upon them that knowledge may find them, that they should never grow tired or weary, and that they should always strive for greater excellence in the name of Agaris and in the name of all. And should it happen that they may be wronged, or that those who carry these symbols be wronged in their search for ever-increasing knowledge and ever-increasing status and power, then those who wronged them beware, for they have the power of a demon goddess with them. And all who betray, all who inherit their vengeance shall tremble in despair. Something like that.
All right. Yes, and the architects and the
Yes. Everyone who did that A-rated and B-rated work, along with,
Yep.
let me see here. Agares deserves the absolute best, and over the past year, these exemplary individuals provided that which she requires. It is therefore the greatest pleasure of House Vytharia that these are the first to traverse these halls in their entirety, so that she, Lady Vengeance, may personally judge their worth. Let you not be found wanting. And since these very people, helped to design all this shit,
Mhm. Oh, they know.
I know. Maybe they have the best chance of survival, right? They know the secrets.
That's what I think. Many of them, at least. At this signal, the first ones are, ushered in. Some more violent than others, and they look truly terrified as they start to disappear into the side passages of the cathedral. And as the first of them do, a peculiar darkness suddenly falls over the cathedral interior. It is as if the light sources dim, and that all warmth disappear immediately. It is as if the shadows lengthen and climb and cling to all the effigies, tapestries, and weird barbed protrusions from the walls, and it's almost as they snake and writhe as you look around you, and the darkness seems to be pressing in every moment, trying to snuff out the lighted candles and such. Outside, you can hear people shout in terror and despair, and sort of pointing at the different windows and weird crenellations of the cathedral. And from inside, from the side passageways where you sent these poor doomed souls, the first blood-curdling and horrid screams echo through the halls as Agaris' might truly takes hold over this cathedral and shakes the city to its very foundations. Yes?
Well, after this, of course, would follow a slightly longer sermon, just generally speaking of Agaris and the values. We're still with the screams in the background, and then would come the time for Alauneari to finally declare the cathedral a finished project, and to open the forum basically for people to walk inside and to enjoy what this new city has to offer.
Should they be so daring as to allow Agaris's eye itself to fall upon them. You know, with the promise of, if you curry the favor of Agaris,
Look what we did.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like 3 years ago, we were refugees.
So, like, we went from exiles to building this motherfucking cathedral. What can you do?
Yeah, alchemist. Think of what you could do.
Suck it.
He, like, reports back.
All right, give me 2 seconds. Oh dear. Oh, what? You behave now. All right. Yes. As you know, the darkness is still prevailing inside the cathedral. It is as if it is sort of snuffing out or trying to choke or strangle the light sources, and the shadows do seem to be alive in a slightly alarming manner here. As the last sermon is concluded, and you invite the people to enjoy the city and its many delights, and perhaps start walking out, you do notice that the darkness, actually, as you walk out, seem to encroach upon all of you quite quickly. And for a second, you feel as if you are drowning in the purest and most hateful malice and death that you can possibly imagine. And you find that you are no longer in the cathedral.
In that case, since Rilinid's mask is not being worn, he currently has the look of utter terror on his face.
Rilinid knows what's coming, doesn't he?
Alauneari's eyes roll slightly back in her head as she just embraces the feeling.
Rilinid's seen this. Rilinid knows how this story.
Rain almost looks like Rilinid for a second, but then starts to embrace it.
Tristan will mimic Alauneari, because she knows that is what Alauneari wants her to do.
Alauneari currently does not really sense anyone else. She's
No.
just, well, this is what it feels like to channel.
Well,
So what
Tristan doesn't know how that is.
It's horrible.
Oh, it is a horrible feeling. I think can Rilinid vouch for this?
It's absolutely terrible.
What is Zyn's reaction to this?
Well, Zyn has prepared for a lot of things this day. This was not one of them. He is, out of the siblings, he's probably the one who has the least connection to Agaris, so this is really, really, really terrifying to him. A feeling that he does not approve of at all.
Oh, good. We managed to make Zyn unexpect something. Good.
Yeah, he's probably scared to the point of being paralyzed, even though he knows that, the siblings are probably, hopefully, the people who have least to fear from Agaris. At least he hopes it is that way, because if Agaris decides that this cathedral doesn't please her, then they might be in big trouble.
You see, I'm a god. You see, I'm a demon of secrets, and you've just built a public display to me.
Fools!
It's like Vecna.
Yep.
What's Sakari?
Sakari is not here.
Hmm.
When the feeling passes, and those of you who are not used to channeling the power of Agaris, probably in a cold sweat at least at this point, you find yourself in a most peculiar location. It is completely dark all around you. You can't see, like your dark vision does nothing, basically. You seem to stand upon almost a slab of translucent obsidian. Within that slab writhes strange energies circulating, like forming webs and spikes, and like this pattern sort of undulating in complete chaos and in angles and patterns that really hurt your brain just to try to fathom and look at. this is all you see. There is nothing else. It is also complete silence except for your ragged and labored breaths as you look around there. It is also deathly cold. As you try to catch your breath from the darkness around you and seemingly from the weird translucent onyx itself, a shadow rises up and forms into a form of quite the otherworldly and ethereal beauty. It is the most handsome and perfect drow anyone of you has ever seen. The features are completely flawless, as if they were carved from the purest dark marble and wreathed in shadow patterns that sort of undulate all over. Two black horns protrude up from the from within the skull. So someone you recognize as the Herald of Agaris. Rae'nkalar falls to his knees in a bow.
Then would likely do the same immediately.
Tristan mimics Alauneari because she is a little scared.
Rilinid?
Rilinid is, with that hesitation, quite slow. Sort of like wrestling, like in measure like terror and anger, but like lowers like down before the Herald.
The Herald is like he has this aura of complete like unholy terror around him, and you feel it pressing upon you quite a bit. It is like the breaths that were labored before become ragged, and you have trouble. It feels like you're drowning almost in his presence. Even for someone like Alauneari, who's very used or somewhat used to channeling the power of Garrus, this is quite overwhelming. The Herald looks upon you for what seems like an eternity as you are sort of bathed in his presence. And then he says, I am the Herald of the Lady of Vengeance, the patron of you, House Vytharia. You have come afar and done much, and the Lady of Vengeance is pleased with your accomplishments. That is why she has decided to bring you here to a fragment of her realm, so that you may feel her presence and power in all of your beings. He looks upon you. The Dark Queen is pleased. He basically motions to those of you, to all of you to rise up, and you don't need to lower your gaze anymore. So you can sort of look upon him for real.
Alauneari will do so, admiring every feature.
Well, just a little look at him.
Rain will rise from his bow, looking towards them.
Herald looks over to Rae'nkalar and says, "The Lady of Vengeance is pleased with your continuing service and dedication to her cause. Son of House Vytharia." He makes a motion towards Rain, and like a small mote of darkest essence floats towards him.
Ring closes his eyes in anticipation because he thinks he knows what's about to happen.
The herald looks over to Tristan. "Youngest sister of the House Vytharia, the Lady of Vengeance is pleased with your dedication to her cause. Progress has been made. That is good."
Tristan acknowledge that what he said, but it's not moving much.
"Remember, youngest sibling, to always strive and always be ambitious, and the Dark Lady will always be with you." And he makes a motion towards Tristan, and a similar dark mote starts floating towards her. The herald looks at Zyn, and his terrible and dread gaze seems to pierce every fabric of his being. And he says, "Yes, the intrepid guardian of the family, always on the lookout, always trying to anticipate the knives in the dark. A good trait, although unrefined." The herald smiles slightly. "The Lady of Vengeance wishes you to continue in your efforts. She is pleased."
And swallows and nods. But can't really get any words out whatsoever.
He makes a motion towards Zyn, and a black mote floats toward him. And peeks like over Alauneari to Rilinid.
Rilinid's like has his teeth clenched, like he's slowly shaking his head no from like left to right. Like no.
The herald smiles slightly and says, "Always the doubter, always the schemer, scion of House Vytharia. Your mind works in fantastical ways, a labyrinth as dark as the cathedral you have erected. The Lady of Plans and Secrets are pleased with you." And he makes a motion towards Rilinid, and a black mote floats towards him.
The nose shaking is becoming more vigorous, but he can't move.
"You cannot deny her gifts. They are yours." Then he sort of smiles slightly. Looks upon Alauneari.
Alauneari attempts to meet his gaze.
It is looking into despair itself. "And finally, the matron of House Vytharia. You are the one who carries the blood oaths, the bonds, and the curses with you. You are the upholder of the dread contracts Matron Juvenile found and constructed together with the Dread Lady. You are the upholder of the family. You are its head. You are the manifest destiny of Agarith's will."
Alauneari looks proud and sort of stout. even as a tear runs down from her eye.
The Lady of Vengeance have observed what you have done, matron, and she is pleased. Continue this course, but know that failure will not be tolerated. And he makes a motion towards Alauneari, and a black mote floats towards her. All of the motes now hover like right in front of all of you, and the herald addresses you again and says, "Revel in this power, scions of House Vytharia. This is the boon of the Dread Lady, the Queen of Secrets and the Lady of Vengeance. This is the power her favor brings. Carry forth her plans and the vengeance against those who have sought to kill and destroy you, and more gifts will be presented. This is but a small token of Agaris's true power, and all that you do will bring glory to her." As the motes float towards you and touches your chests, and the feeling of the most dread and exquisite agony flows through you. You are in ecstasy and the most terrible pain you have ever felt in your lives. Nothing previous had, compared to this feeling of Agaris's will and power taking hold in not only your bodies, but you feel it in your very souls, the very essence of your beings, as this dark majesty flows through you. You all, through this, will gain the equivalent of a hero point. And I will link the description to that in the chat, so you can take a look at exactly that mechanic and how that works. Again, you feel as if you're probably going to disintegrate from within, but as the dread feeling mounts and the terror of your own obliteration looms before you, it's just when you think you are about to break and lose all hope and all sanity completely, it seems as if the power ebbs away, and you sort of gain control over yourself again. You are still in the space, and the herald is still standing before you. He has a slight smile on his face that can only be described as completely terrifying. Then he looks upon you and says, "The lady has instructed me to hear your praise and your pleas." He sort of makes a motion that you may speak.
Well, Alauneari, for one, right now is again, tears are beginning to stream down from her eyes that are growing red, but all the while her mouth is sort of curled into a wicked smile, as a sort of a weird combination of laughter and sort of sadness is escaping from her, although not very loudly. Yeah, let's speak first.
In that case, Rilinid, with his teeth chattering, the head still shaking no, like he can somehow push it out as like, "We, the most obsequious servants of the Grand Lady Vengeance, the Schemer in the Dark, do fawn and scrape and pray for her continued support as we execute her will upon the realm."
The herald seems to acknowledge this, but doesn't say anything.
Alauneari then sort of looks up slowly, getting a grip of herself in this pain and ecstasy, and she sort of almost take a step to reach out for the herald, as her hands and her whole frame really shaking. She says, "Let Agaris' power flow through me completely. I surrender my physical form to this. This power is intense, amazing, burning. It is what I've always felt and what I need to feel. The world shall tremble at Agaris' might, and every living soul shall be slain in her name and brought here to serve. We have pledged with lives and minds and souls to forever serve the dread queen, and we shall all do so until we perish and join her army here. May our bodies, may our souls be vessels of her power and sense this feeling every living moment."
The herald now openly smiles at you, and it is a smile that gives you the feeling that you just want to tear your eyes out to never see anything again.
Alauneari considers it.
Does any of the others want to say anything?
Rain will open his eyes from closing it to let the feeling, just be the only thing he feels around him. His gaze looking up to the herald. Ever since I signed this pact, I let Agaris' power flow freely through me. Terrifying, dark, powerful. And as it stands, and as it shall always be, I surrender my skills with my blade to upholding the goals of planning and ambition and vengeance, and even into death, when no more can be done, I shall still serve in her name. His gaze just trying to meet the herald's, though the eternal despair looking back.
Trislin or Zyn?
The trembling elbow at Zyn.
Well, Zyn will also try to at least look in the herald's direction, which is proving to be quite hard as he mumbles as loud as he can. Ambition, secrets, and vengeance shall be my only motivations. Vengeance in the lady's name shall be what drives me. I shall keep my siblings safe, just as I will strive to kill those who even dare to stand in our way and the lady's way. None shall be able to stop us. As he again looks away, trembling, and really not sure how he managed to say words at all in this situation.
Does it automatically have the panicked condition right now?
If he could run away, he would. Let's put it that way.
Obsidian.
The only reason Tristan is standing there is because Alauneari is standing there, and she doesn't want to disappoint Alauneari.
There's nowhere to go.
Well, she would go behind Rain, but because she don't want to disappoint Alauneari, she stays there. And she's really trying to look at him, but she keeps flicking her eyes away, because she knows that she does not have the powers of a priest or priestess. So she has never been able to have contact with Agaris.
In a way, you almost don't feel worthy.
Yeah, Tristan does not feel worthy.
Alauneari has no eye for anyone else right now. As she looks towards the herald into the area around her, reaching out her hands, sort of almost feeling the fabric of the air in here. She sort of begins to talk. We do not wish to leave. This is what we seek. This is what we need. Gestures to her siblings. We can stay. We will find a way to stay here, to obtain this. Yes. So her eyes continue to stream.
The herald, still smiling his completely annihilation causing smile, will look upon the group and say, Agaris has heard your pleas. She is pleased with you. He reaches out a hand. Now, go and fulfill Agaris' dread will. Know that nothing will stand against her. Nothing. All her enemies must be destroyed, utterly and completely. This is your sacred duty as the chosen of her will.